Good Tuesday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our joint brief. Hopefully everybody enjoyed Juneteenth yesterday, a national holiday courtesy of Joe Biden. And we'll talk about Juneteenth and the significance of it because it's, again, I get in trouble on Facebook and I'm burning some boats and then making some new ones. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Everybody have a good Father's Day. I appreciate that, Thomas. Hopefully everybody had a good Father's Day. Yeah, went to the beach, man, knocked out a little video about Father's Day and how the past two Father's Day for me have been awesome. I mean, they obviously, since Matthew was born, they've been awesome because being a father is just the most incredible gift from God. Being able to, just be a parent, it's just, you guys know, it's incredible if you're a parent. And even if you're not, you might know how my dogs are family. Bowser, Scooter, really original. I got Scooter when he was a puppy and I was flying A4s, Scooters, and Dixie and Holly. Although maybe we can't call our dog Dixie anymore. We got her from Alabama. We called her Dixie, but kind of like the Dixie Chicks changed their name. Maybe my dog's racist. Thanks, Goose. Man, it was good because the past two Father's Day is healing because of my dad. You guys all know I'm not going to beat a dead horse. No pun intended. My dad died of a broken heart because of my sister, and they are just absolutely fantastic. Like there was ever any doubt. Well, there was with me. Of course there was doubt. I strongly recommend this guy, A Course in Miracles. Write this down. It's called A Course in Miracles. And it's part of my integration. Every day there's a video, or you can read it. I bring it to the beach and stuff like that. But exactly, Aaron, A Course in Miracles. And today is talked about, just to look at our history of man, of woman, but of just civilization. The evil that men have done to each other in the name of God. I as a Catholic, was taught what? Vengeful God. You don't go to church on Sunday. It's a mortal sin. They use the term mortal sin, meaning like, well, if you do one of these, you burn in hell for the rest of eternity. What? That ain't the God that I experienced. The best thing I've received so far from A Course in Miracles was I saw it in my first journey. I experienced it, but to read it in writing was pretty cool. We can ask for forgiveness all we want, but forgiveness doesn't exist in heaven. There's no need for it. I'm like, holy shit. God might appreciate, like, okay, yeah, you asked. It's like when I was in my first journey, God looked at me when I was on my knees begging for forgiveness just for what? For the illusion of separation. The Holy Spirit believes that is a mistake to be corrected, not a sin to be punished. So I remember Sister Mary Catherine beating the shit out of me in second grade when I demanded to know how Adolf Hitler could be in heaven, type of thing. And I know that might not sit well with some of you, but I got to experience, right? God is love. There is no such that when I was on my knees begging for forgiveness for being just a total piece of shit, God looked at me kind of with a shrug. I felt it. It was a shrug like, dude, are you serious? I love you. And it was awesome. Anyway, why am I talking about? Oh, it's Father's Day. I just made a little Father's Day video, so I appreciate that. So anyway, but yeah, Catholic guilt. I'm glad I'm a recovering Catholic. I'm glad that Susie's good. She's like Melanie Luttrell. I mean, Marcus got back from doing the medicine, and Karen, you got it. My new acronym is SBNR. Anybody knows what that is? If you're reading The Immortality Key over on my couch, I can't put that book down. Bart was right. The immortality key is insane. SBNR means what? Spiritual, but not religious. Absolutely spiritual, but not religious. Susie's good. Melanie Luttrell's good. Marcus is going to be a Catholic deacon. Since he got back from the medicine, Marcus went from baptism to like confirmation, and he's on track to be a deacon. Marcus Luttrell. They go to church 3 days a week. You should see on their ranch. She grows the flowers in her garden for the church. They're just incredible people. Imagine going from the horrors that Marcus Luttrell has seen and done to being incredibly spiritual and religious. I mean, that works for them. She gets it though. Melanie, you'll listen on the podcast. She did the 5-MeO, and she's like, my Catholic faith was crystallized on the 5-MeO. And that's when I told her, I'm like, I don't have faith anymore. And she looked at me, I'm like, I have knowledge. Faith is for people who haven't seen. Anyway, what I'm getting at is Susie did a good job. All the kids are, Keely's got her confirmation coming up. So, because Susie's like, if they want to be married in the church, they have to do all this stuff. So, it's been really good. But spiritual, not religious. So, Thomas, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know about AA, but I know that there's some steps that are kind of similar. I get it, man, because AA is what? Alcohol is just for a lot of people, beyond a drug, it's a numbing. It just extends that separation between you and God, source, truth, divine, whatever words you want to use. It's a separation device. Drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever vice you're using is to hide you from your source. That's the sin, right? The only sin in this world is separation. I've told you how many times. If somebody kidnapped Vladimir Putin and drove his ass down to Mexico, there wouldn't be war. When you got guys like me and Marcus who are like, a year ago, I would have swam across the Atlantic to go to Ukraine. Give me a week of training in a MiG-29, I'll kill as many fucking Russians as humanly possible. Now I'm like, stop. But like Marcus and I discussed on the podcast, I hope there isn't. I hope we never get to the point where a guy like Marcus and I, where we actually get to push to the point where it is, you don't want to see that, because there will be peace after that, I guarantee you. Anyway, Friday, Bart, I'm going to do a 60% discount to get folks into Bart's service, because I went on Friday. I'm like, why isn't this place packed? So do me a favor, register, put this on social media. Let's hook Bart up, man. He really needs to. The dude's just brilliant. I told Bart he needs to dumb some things down, which isn't offensive to him. It should be offensive to us, because the dude's brilliant. So, I opened up the doors on Friday just to kind of let people in to see what he's doing. I mean, the dude's brilliant. So come on Friday. Mark, you bet. And I was in Houston last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, and I was on the Team Never Quit podcast. Okay, let's get airborne. So I'm announcing a little bit of a brand shift, right? Why? Because I'm like completely in Facebook jail. If you get a second, go to the Top Gun Options Facebook page. I used to have like 25,000 people. Now it's down to 19. Why? Because I am shadow banned. I'm on the verge of losing this account. I used to get hundreds of views and likes and comments. Same thing with YouTube. And they're all gone. Why? You guys know. I told the truth repeatedly, whether it was Hillary or COVID. Everything that I got in jail for in Facebook became truth. What's the difference between a conspiracy theory and truth? About 6 months in this country. But let me give you an example of yesterday. False information. Your page is going to be banned. Let me show you the photo. June 19th, 1865. The day Republicans and the Union Army freed the remaining slaves from Democrat slave owners. Fact. Absolute fact. So why did they say, and of course I get a nasty letter, your page is going to be unpublished and shut down? Why? Because the fact checkers that looked at this clearly didn't look at it, right? It's just a copy paste. They said the NRA was not made so that slaves could protect themselves. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where in this post is there anything about the NRA? Not a word. But the AP fact check says false. The NRA was not founded to help slaves in the South fight the KKK. What? And also, it was the Union Army that freed the slaves. Who the hell do you think gave the Union soldiers the order, you morons? The Union Army just ran around on their own doing whatever they wanted? Or did they take their orders from the Republican president? This is how gross these people are. They're gross. They're awful. Juneteenth is a holiday that celebrates Abraham Lincoln and the North and Republicans freeing slaves from Democrats in the South. It's our nation's history. You want to teach CRT and this type of bullshit? Teach that. Fact check false. We're going to unpublish your page. Rah! Fact checkers. When your government gets to the point where they're like, we're going to have a Department of Truth run by a crazy cat lady whose apartment smells like urine. This country's over with. Got a president that can't even ride a bike, man. I'm old enough to remember Saturday Night Live when it was funny. Anybody remember a young Chevy Chase? What skit did he do like every episode? Gerald Ford fell down the last couple stairs of Air Force One. It like made his career. Joe Biden shits his pants with the Pope, falls up the Air Force One stairs, falls off his bike, can't string a coherent sentence together. Not a word from Saturday Night Live. President is falling all over the place. Thomas, if he did land on his head, maybe he'd be coherent. So anyway, guys, so here's what I'm getting at. I own, because I'm smart, just like Fredo. Send Wiz to the airport. I own MaverickOptions.com. Where am I going with this? You know where I'm going, baby. So Top Gun Options is going to stay the parent company like Frito-Lay, but I'm going to have Doritos and all sorts of other shit. I'm starting Maverick Options. New Facebook page, new Instagram, new YouTube until they shut all that down. So I own Maverick Options because I saw this coming. So Top Gun Options is going to stay Top Gun Options, but underneath it, man, so I can generate. I used to put like a Top Gun Options full throttle add on, and we'd have 5,000 opt-ins. Now it's like 0 because I can't advertise. So these liberals, you can't do that to Disney. Do the same thing to guys like me, small businesses. I hate Facebook, but guess what? I can get leads off of it. So stand by. I got the rest of my day and a shitload of action items. I get stickies all over the place for Maverick Options. It's mainly going to be a lead generation page, but anyway. All right, guys, we have a lot to cover, even though that seemed like a lot. So guess what's going to happen? Ukraine's going to fail. They're going to lose the war, and Russia's going to own like some eastern portion of the Ukraine. Duh. So, Andrew Jackson was awful. What an awful president, especially with the reconciliation of the South. It wasn't until General Grant. General Grant is the reason this union exists. I got that book right over there next to Every Drop of Blood. Grant was awesome. Okay. After lying for months, the media are preparing for the Ukraine's collapse. So the Western media did everything in its power to give the appearance of far greater strength than it really possessed. Russian errors were exaggerated. Everybody remember the ghost of Kyiv? It's a MiG-29 pilot who shot down 6 MiGs, and it was a fucking lie. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, that's a lie. These soldiers on Snake Island, go fuck yourself, Russian warship, and they all died. No, they didn't. They surrendered and gave up. It's still brave that they were fighting there, but it was all lies. Kyiv's war with Moscow is lost. It's over with, folks. And now we got 3 American POWs, one of which has already received the death penalty, I believe. Wouldn't be surprised if they carry it out. In the laws of war, unless they were a Ukrainian soldier, they are considered a soldier of fortune and a mercenary and could actually have been shot on the field of battle. Not even a mercenary. You're a murderer. If you had shot at Russian soldiers and killed them, we're going to convict you of murder. You're a civilian running around? Are you wearing a Ukrainian uniform and flag? Oh, you're just a soldier of fortune. So, I'm not going to keep getting into this, but let me scroll through a lot of stuff because this was before the weekend. Where are the rockets for Ukraine? So we have to talk through this, folks. Again, you have got to go strategic. Why? Because there's fertilizer shortage, there's diesel, there's food shortages coming to this country. If there is some sort of peace, we might have a rip your face off rally. But the peace is going to be bad. The U.S. has supplied only 4 HIMARS. Kyiv says it needs at least 60. Okay? So what's this get into? We are just slow walking enough weapons to Ukraine to do what? On a daily basis, see 200 Ukrainian kids killed. And I don't know how many Russians, since they vaporize them in mobile crematoriums. And their parents just kind of get a letter. Maybe you can visit Ukraine someday or Eastern Donbass and see your son's ashes. Folks, I get it, man. The Russians said, hey, in a day, do you remember what Joe Biden did for Ukraine at the beginning of this thing? Dude, we'll give you a flight out. We'll send in a SEAL team to rescue you. Zelensky, to his credit, he's like, what? I'm not going anywhere. Good for him. So the help we offered initially was, we'll fly you out because you're going to collapse in 2 days. It didn't happen. So Russians have more artillery than Ukrainians, and they have longer ranges. Now we're settling into an artillery battle, folks, of just back and forth punching each other in the face. You ready for this? If we get 60 of them, they'll lose all ability to advance. If we get 40, they'll advance, but slowly with heavy casualties. If we get 20, they're going to advance with higher casualties than now. We have given 4. 4. The stakes are high, not only for Ukraine. If the Russian military mops up the Donbass, he will have grabbed more land, and he can sell that as a victory. He can regroup, push towards Odessa, robbing the coastline, and building a bridge to Transnistria in Moldova. Europe will be less secure, and Biden will bear some responsibility. Skeptics of U.S. aid to Ukraine, me, we can't support the country forever. Duh. But that's all the more reason to get Kyiv the right weapons sooner in enough numbers so Ukraine can stop and roll back Russian advances. That's the only way for Putin to get to the negotiating table with a ceasefire with terms favorable to NATO. What am I getting at? We looked at this last week. America's midway measures trap may doom Ukraine. So, folks, I'm telling you since day one, this half-pregnant approach that NATO and the West are using, and especially Biden, is only getting people killed. I've told you that cowards fight proxy wars. I actually got into an argument, of course, on Facebook. their lives are literally, somebody actually said this. He's like, well, that's better than American lives. I'm like, is it? So Ukrainian 1920, so Ukrainian young men are more important than Americans. Donald Trump would say that. I probably would have said that too, as old me. New me doesn't. My son's 22. Jack's 17. I look at them, man. Could you imagine? Imagine being a Russian parent or Ukrainian parent. So here's what I'm rambling to get to, folks. It's over in Ukraine. And if it isn't, why didn't we go full throttle? Here's everything you need. MiG 20. Remember the MiGs? Poland's like, I loved it. They called Joe Biden's bluff. Hey, we'll give all of our MiG 29s to Ukraine. Come and get them. You give us F 16s. Oh, harumph, we can't. That might escalate things. So only killing Soviets this way is okay, but killing them this way is we can't. I seriously want to be in a room with Millie and Austin and the president and be like, what the fuck are you people doing? They don't know. They have no clue what they're doing, folks. War is either complete and absolute and total and vicious and violent so it ends quickly, or you just kind of drag it out and just grind and kill. Vladimir Putin gave a speech the other day at his economic conference in Lake St. Petersburg. And what did he say? He's like, this is awesome. First of all, he can start declaring somewhat victory, which will be total victory in his opinion. But he's like, look at Europe. Look at the United States. Khalid, you just played yourself. We're Sideshow Bob stepping on a rake. These sanctions are Putin was laughing. He's like, these sanctions, not crippling to us. He admitted, though, he's like, things suck a little bit right now. Guess what? They're sucking more for them. So we can embrace the suck a little bit because we're Russia. This sucks all the time here. And it's going to blow up in their face. We're already starting to see cracks in Europe. Like, yeah. Did you see Germany's inflation? It's the highest since like post 1949 or something like that. Like, it was insane. Their inflation that came in the other day. So at the beginning of this thing, Lavrov's like, they actually came to the table and were like, it's something we can start with here. And then what happened? They left and never came back. Why? Coward Biden, coward Austin, coward Millie all said, well, no, we'll kind of give you, we'll arm you guys. We need all this. Well, we'll give you this. I'm briefing you on this because if there is peace, look at this. We are teetering on the edge. Food shortages worries mount as Pennsylvania farms crushed by record diesel prices. They can't get fertilizer. Diesel prices are through the roof. Putin knows this, folks. Putin knows all of this. He's not that dumb, guys. So, my hope is peace. I get it, man. Adolf Hitler used the same tactic, man. There's ethnic Germans in this area over here that kind of want to be this, and he stormed in and just kept going. Does anybody in this? I get it. Old me probably would say this, but I'm not old me. There's only today me. There was no NATO. Do you not remember what was going on before World War II? Who supported the Nazis? There's a big kingdom to the guy in the middle of the floor in Florida. How about the dude who flew across the Atlantic solo? Charles Lindbergh. How about Joe Kennedy? If you don't know your history, you're an idiot, because in this country, there are a lot of people who supported Germany. I've been to Churchill's bunker in London and saw where he fought the war from and where he had his phone calls with Roosevelt. Like, dude, can you at least lend us a lend-lease? We got dragged, kicking. We were not going to war in Europe, folks, were we? We were isolationist. What happened? The Japs. Am I allowed to say that, or is that racist? I used to watch Bugs Bunny cartoons growing up. You want to talk about? But anyway, we got kicked in the teeth, and then we declared war. We got it. Until Ukraine goes absolutely I'm sorry, until Europe goes apeshit. I don't care. I care about people dying. But until Macron and Boris and Draghi or whoever is Italy for today, until you all go apeshit, don't give me this. If Ukraine falls, he's going into Moldova, Lithuania, and well, a couple of those are NATO countries, and in Article 5, Vladimir Putin knows. Dude, he can, guys. I can be completely wrong. He's got cancer. He's dying. You know what? I am going to go into a NATO country to see what they do. Full-blown war. It technically. I think the guy kind of gets it. Don't give me this domino effect thing. Oh, and by the way, you really think he's going to kind of push into a NATO country right now when he's getting a quarter, 25% of the Russian military has been destroyed? Anyway, had to get through all that stuff since we haven't talked to me in 4 days. The Ukraine thing is interesting. We, as we predicted day one, got Ukraine fatigue. My Ukraine fatigue is at the money. 22, 24, 30, I don't know how many veterans a day kill themselves. 60,000 homeless vets on our streets. And we're just pumping money into a foreign country to kill more people or make more veterans, but foreign veterans. It's a disgrace. Joe Biden with his bike thing and then on the beach in Delaware yelling at people about a recession. Literally, folks, in the Wall Street Journal latest poll, 75% of the economists are saying we're either in or a recession's coming. 60% of CEOs say it's coming. Joe Biden yelled like an angry old codger at this reporter for even suggesting that. This is your country. This is our country, folks. A president yelling and getting angry at people. The dude who hasn't filled up his car in probably 3 or 4 decades, who doesn't go shopping, who doesn't know shit, who isn't running this country, yells at people. Recession probability soars as inflation worsens. So the poll I saw, maybe it was Bloomberg. It was like 72 to 75% said a recession. This one's 44? Okay. I got it wrong. It was one of them, because I was like, when he said it that day, I'm like, I tried to find that and post it because I'm like, so Joe Biden knows more than 75% of the economists in this poll, even 44% with the Wall Street Journal. Wow. Unbelievable. The Fed slamming on the brakes, folks. It's hard. It's every time again, I don't trade off the left side of a chart, but every time we see peak inflation, you're already in the recession. It's already happened, and then it starts to go down. So it's airlines, folks. It's airline. Do you see Americans like cutting service to 3 cities? They have no pilots. You fire guys until you have to hire guys, and it's too late. They're always out of cycle. CEOs are all over this, man. This is their job. So it's not Joe Biden's job because he's an idiot. Joe Biden can't sit there, and he has no P&L responsibilities. If he did, he would have been fired. We're like $30 trillion in debt. Would you buy stock in a company $30 trillion in debt? More than 60% of CEOs who look out into the future, who guess what? If Joe Biden, maybe I'll do this when I'm president. My compensation is like a CEO. If the economy's doing good, I get paid a shit ton of money. Why are you paying me something flat? Trump should have done that. Well, he actually donated his salary every quarter, but, the media didn't pick up on that. Joe Biden needs the money, right? Crack ain't cheap. So it's bad. CEO's bad. Everything's bad. Market's up 3% today. Ron and Sana had a good, be careful what you wish for, right? This is pretty good. So after all this criticism, now they're jumping in. Guys, I don't want to hurt my arm, pat myself on the back. I'm an aviator, man, and I'm a trader. I'm an investor. I've been doing this for 3 decades. I knew up at altitude, I'm like, that's where we need to land. Cut the power back right now and do a precautionary emergency landing, a PEL, or a HAPL, high altitude power loss. Nope. Full fucking throttle. Where are all the idiots recently? There's a lot of money on the sidelines. Are you fucking stupid? There's a lot of money on the sidelines. Wait, who? 82% of households don't even have 30 days of savings available. How about with the 30-year fixed rate at 6%, guys? You ready for this? A $450,000 house purchased with a 3% mortgage last year has the same monthly payment as that 320 purchased today. Holy crap. Consumers are running up credit card bills. Is that where the money? There's a lot of money on the sidelines. Okay, if everybody spends all the way up to their max limit and then defaults. There is, it's bad. Anyway, you guys don't need to hear this, but Insano's a pretty smart guy. He had a good article there. This is a big deal. Investors see higher defaults ahead as they go up. All of these companies, lady, this is 2008 all over again. Oh, where's that chart before I forget that I posted this morning? This one's awesome. This gives you, look at the money supply. Where is it? Look at this chart. The S&P percentage performance since when? I was sitting in the board of trade. S&P performance since then. S&P M1 adjusted percentage. So everything was in line until 2008. Money supply versus S&P 500 performance. Then what happened in 2008? Ben Bernanke and cokehead George Bush Jr. destroyed capitalism. They got involved in capitalism. We can't let Jamie Dimon and Lloyd Blankfein and the Blue Bloods on Wall Street and the Hamptons suffer. We have to bail them out. Now Occupy Wall Street looks like a pretty damn fine organization to me. Look at that. This is your whiz chart of the day. If this happens, folks, not only are we in a recession, we will hurtle towards a depression. Up until 2008, when the Fed got in to save, look, guys, men lie. Charts based on data do not. Fed gets involved without the Fed involved. Regular adjusted performance based on M1. The market, it depends on you, not me. It depends on you. If you believe that as of that day, this is a different world. This is a different market, right? Then just keep kind of doing what you're doing. If you're a guy like me who's been trading since 1990, 91, to steal a Bartism, there's nothing new under the sun. You want to talk about a big delta that needs to be filled? Everybody, it was Friday. On Friday's call, that's the big debate, folks. Where is the Jerome Powell pain point? How bad do things have to get before Jerome stops raising or throttling, QT, running off the balance sheet? Isn't that insane? Investors, smart people, smart money are all sitting here trying to figure out how much pain has to be inflicted on the Federal Reserve chief before he stops this madness of making the market go down. Holy shit. Me and my recycling bin of about 30 investing books that I've accumulated over the years threw them out in the COVID crash. This is new. It is new. 14 years ago, things changed. I sat in the studios of the Options News Network and said, "Don't do this. Don't do it. You're creating the biggest moral hazard. Our country will be destroyed because of this." Who said this? Alexander Hamilton, or who was the first Fed chief? No, the Treasury Secretary. Somebody said something like this, like, once a civilization realizes that they can print themselves into largesse, it fails. Something like that. Or was it the French dude? Who was the French guy that came over here? De Tocqueville or whatever. Somebody find that quote about printing your society ends, like once you kind of print yourself into, once they realize that. So on Friday, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in the, so check this out, man. Let me show you my high-tech tracking system. It's right there. Dave, Jack mailed it. Ram is another. Will, I gave a drug deal towards. Colonel Bill, Tanya, Alec, John, this morning. We have, obviously it's electronic. I was just kind of, so the lifetime, the 60% discount, when I emailed it out, nobody did it. I'm like, are you people insane? And then when I said it, like, seriously, and it ends at midnight, 17. Thank you, Ted. The American Republic will endure until the day Congress discovers that it can bribe the public with the public's money. Nice job, Ted. I appreciate that. So on Wednesday, real quick, check this out. Men lie, numbers don't. We had what, 154, 155 people. Now I'm still waiting for some wires to clear and stuff like that, but I think there's 17 or 18. So, so we were, well, Mark, it's funny because, so a 60% discount, guys, not that you need to know my business, but I'm going to tell you, we're breaking money to losing money on that. I did this because bad shit's about to happen, just like the COVID crash. I started this because of the COVID crash, and when I feel shitty, I want more people to be able to help. So it was, people were, if you asked me for a discount off of 60% discount, I applaud you for like at least asking, and then I mock you. Guys, I'm not a charity. I'm doing this to be nice. So, and to the 4 people that emailed me, Wednesday or Friday at midnight meant Friday at midnight, not Saturday, not Sunday. It certainly didn't mean yesterday. If you haven't talked to me since midnight on Friday and I agreed with you that you could do the deal, it's over with. If I ever do a 50% discount again, it'll be off the full throttle max afterburner lifetime, which is up here at like 22, 23 grand. So you needed to do it. Buy for the trade, stay for the rants. Anyway, welcome aboard to all the new folks. Make sure you click on both links. There's a trades only link where we do trades only, because some of you still didn't click on that link yet. There should be the same amount of members in here. So buy for the rant, stay for the trades. Exactly. So there's 2 threads, guys. I sent you 2 links if you to get on board. So, but again, guys, if you didn't email me last week that said, dude, I want this and I need to do some stuff, it's over with. I don't know if I can do this again because I just ate long-term profits. But again, I'm wearing my weed shirt today. If I was in my Gordon Gekko, I wouldn't have done that in the first place. Anyway, here's what I'm getting at. On Friday, what did I tell you was going to happen Tuesday? Everybody in the Max Afterburners, tell me what I said would happen today. And I'm off by a little bit. Day ain't over yet. I said we would, thank you, Mark. We would go up to where? I said we would have an absolute rip your face short squeeze up to 3,800. I'm wrong right now. Half wrong. We're at 3770. We are going to have these. It's like I told you, we were way oversold down here, and we would get a bounce to 3,800 today, and then we're going to implode again. Keep an eye on who, man? Keep an eye on your MACD. Keep an eye in there. It's thinking about coming back towards each other. If anything, we'll get it. Yeah. So let's talk about why. I feel so good about this, man, um, because of this. Last week, ladies and gentlemen, was one of the second most shorted weeks out of institutional money and hedge funds and family offices, like in the history of keeping track of short squeezes. Not short squeezes, short positions. Sorry. This is the squeeze. Why am I laughing about this? I'm not. This isn't a lie, folks. I built a volatility arbitrage hedge fund in Chicago. I've taught hedge. This is the best hedge fund I've ever been in. Why? Because every trader in the volatility arbitrage firm that worked there, except for four, because they were partners, didn't trade their own money. I told you repeatedly about a guy I walked out one day when he bought Immunogen. No. Yes, one of them. Whatever one went down 80% in 4 minutes. And he lost, no, 1 minute, he lost $4 million. His literal quote when I took his key card and everything like that, I'm like, dude, that's the time. You're not allowed to go back to your desk. Why? Let me just grab my family pictures here and sell everything. Enter. I know how I got roped into. Well, you know how I got roped into that job? Because we had, no offense, this is fact, we had an HR lady, and she was a rather senior lady. Traders are dudes. Dudes in Chicago who usually party and do a lot of things. So guess who was the muscle? These people are the best hedge fund I've ever seen in my life. Why? Because we give a shit about our money. Here's what I'm getting at. The fact that hedge funds got a ton short last week is comical. They're doing what the airlines are doing right now. Let's get short until it's bullish, and then they're completely done. The people in my mastermind group are panicking. Most of them who don't trade their own money, obviously, they only get paid a bonus based on what? Shocker, you eat what you kill. How's your performance year to date? If you haven't watched the old billions, you have failed. You needed to watch the old billions. What a shocking concept. You pay for performance. I think presidents and politicians should get paid for performance. But folks, this is the fact that these people are they're lost. The fact that Ken Griffin at Citadel, our competitor in Chicago, I met Ken. Ken flies his G5. He doesn't fly it, but in the Boca here just about every weekend because he's got a massive place on the Intercoastal here. Ken Griffin at Citadel. Stevie Cohen, who Axe from Axe Capital is based on. Google Stevie Cohen. He paid, how much did he pay to stay out of jail? Like the biggest fine in the history of man, like $2 billion. These guys, folks, are paying for what? Order flow. They're paying to see retail order flow. I always get this wrong. 1.8 billion. Stevie Cohen, a 900 million oh my God. So he went from SAC Capital to a family office. He's still a scumbag. The best article on this is this in the New Yorker. Read this when you get it. This is a good cup of coffee. If you don't, this is Axe Cap. This is literally who they base Axe from Axe Capital on. This is a great, you want to know how Wall Street works? It's right here. He cut a check for a couple $1 billion and didn't go to jail. His lieutenants and his captains, prison. Never met Steve Cohen. Met this guy. So here's what I'm getting at. Guess what we're in for? Oh, Bank of America CEOs, the labor shortage. We don't have enough people now, and those who quit aren't coming back. So I've never seen an environment with stuff. Um, I've never seen such a confluence of events. I am a student of trading. I'm a student of history. I follow markets. I follow our nation's history. This is um, this is bad. Raging inflation, war in Europe, labor market, Fed raising into a recession. You couldn't, if you had a bingo card of shitstorm, you can't have all these on here. Throw in a monkeypox. That disappeared pretty quickly, even though it hasn't. It disappeared because Democrats are like, America's got fatigue with this stuff. We try and do this shit again, they might revolt. Why has Amazon lost its way? In Forbes. Wow. Buckle up. This is another headwind for the e-commerce giant. Kind of a good read. Kind of don't agree with all of it. This is a good red team. I want you to read this since I'm ranting and going way too long. Because I want to talk overall. This is a read for all this, well, everybody, but mainly the solo Amazon people. I'm still not anywhere close to a bottom, and that's me. I want to believe, baby, but we will have these bear market rallies. Sell the dips. Do not buy the rips until further notice. Okay. This is, no, this is, guys, these are rips. You sell these, write this down. This is your whiz. This is my SOP right now. SOP, standard operating procedure. You need a peacetime SOP when everybody's a genius with the market going straight up. Now, with this, everybody isn't a genius. So you need to have two SOPs, a peacetime SOP and a wartime SOP, a volatile SOP. You pull in your risk. You take shots of opportunity. I will tell you right now, guys, please, God, 2, 3, 5 years from now, we should, air quotes, be higher. My son Jack, love my boy Jack, he's in Boise State in Tallahassee. There's my boy Jack in the front row, and there's DeSantis. Jack was elected chief of police. I don't know what that means, but today he's like running for some national position. But there he is talking. Ron DeSantis is speaking to them today. If we get the I think we get a November rally. There's a tsunami coming. I mean, did you see Joe Mumbles McShitty Pants with his granddaughters, whoever, like trying to pull him away from the press? Who runs the country? Valerie Jarrett. He actually said the other day, like, my mom said, there's always something good out of a shit sandwich, and it's the push to put green and everybody in electric vehicles. Did you see that, or did you watch CNN? He literally just came out and said it yesterday that, I mean, this is the best thing about you guys getting destroyed by inflation and raging gas prices is the fact that I'm going to force you to go green. Can't stand saying this. Donald Trump was right. I saw a clip of Joe Biden saying after he hit his head and Trump predicting, like, he comes in, this is what's going to happen. Can't stand Donald Trump, but he was right. Yeah, Susan Rice and Valerie Jarrett, two women are running the country right now. Not that there's anything wrong with that, except that they're not elected, and this isn't Venezuela. So, so Goose, I don't disagree. This is a reload moment, but I ain't doing shit. I'm looking at another L-39. I'm looking at a boat. Suze, I took a little sniper shot this morning, and then I canceled it, and I told people I was going to cancel it because it didn't, right around here, when it didn't drop, I'm like, out. We're going to have a slow melt up to 3,800 today. Let's talk about trading these type of things. Somebody tell me why the market's up today. I already told you, but you can tell me why. You don't have to. Don't waste your time typing, because here's what I'm getting at. None of it is fundamental. If we were trading on fundamentals and everything actually going on right now, the market would be down 1,000 points today because everything sucks. But what does the market tend to do? It should do what? It should forward look. But that ain't why we're up today. I already told you it's a short squeeze. How long do short squeezes last? 3 decades of doing this. 3 to 4 days. Sometimes a full trading week, 5 days. We're only in since I celebrated Republicans freeing slaves. Where was that AP fact check? I have to show you this, guys. This literally made me laugh out loud. See why. Ready for this? Here's the fact check on my June 19th post. NRA not formed to defend African American and KKK. When did I write or that picture say anything about the NRA? False. The NRA was I didn't say a word about the NRA. And here's a funny one. It was the Union Army, not the Republican Party, that freed the slaves. What? Oh, that's right. I forgot. Armies just go around doing things without orders from elected officials. Wow. I love when they do this. It's just so they're awful. Anyway, but and I love that you can't do anything about it, right? And you can't do anything about it. You can't appeal to anybody. You can't do anything. I was going to show you like all my warnings and stuff like that. They're like, your page is going to be gone here. I'm like, it already is, guys. Nobody looks at this anymore because you guys are just awful. Elon Musk going to hopefully just destroy Twitter and turn it into something more palatable. But here's what I'm getting at, guys. You can and this is a dangerous one, so that's why I canceled my initial SPX trade. I'm like, nope. If it didn't do a slam within the first half an hour, it was going to be a melt up. And yep, look at that. And it's just going to keep melting up. I told you today. I predicted today we would hit 3,800. And I got out if we didn't fade, obviously. But I canceled that trade because it's dangerous. Boom. As soon as I saw that thing not turn. So on Friday, what happened? Oop, plug in my computer. What happened on Friday, folks? Look at all these new people joining. On Friday, ladies and gentlemen, I paid for half of your lifetime membership, but it's too late if you didn't write me already. I did 2 trades on Friday. They were about 4,900 bucks or something like that. 2 sniper shots. This isn't time for a victory lap. What I'm getting at is this. This ain't a market to do. This is only a market to do sniper shots. There are some good people in the Afterburner group, and the hunters doing what? Buying calls. I told you, what was that, Tuesday last week, whenever it was? On a day like that day, I think it was Tuesday, I said what? Without me, I'm teaching you, without me, this is like COVID crash. If you wake up and see futures down, 500 points, buy puts at the open. Because in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, it will go that way. And then whether or not it turns, it remains to be seen. This is what we were doing in the COVID crash. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you to do the exact opposite. After we have these oversold, let me just put SPX up there because I saw somebody bought some. Who bought Amazon calls out to Friday? Was it Friday? Somebody did. I thought, or up here. Lawrence bought Paracalls. Oh, Amazon. Kevin bought some Amazon. The 120, the 112. Look at that. Nice job, Kevin. That's a nice trade. And Mike, good job, Mike. See, this is great. I love this. Smart people in here. This is good stuff. Well done, guys. But here's what I'm getting at. If on these rips, do what some of those folks in Max After are doing. Buy calls with drinking money. I don't drink anymore. Maybe a glass of wine socially with a steak every once in a while, but I'm what a healing thing that was too. Buy calls, but not with money you can afford to lose. Your wartime SOP, if the first line in your wartime SOP says, "Do not trade with any money that we can't afford to lose," you're enjoying a long bout of popcorn. Or go over to the treadmill and jump into your paper trading account and throw on sniper shots for training. Okay? So do not trade with money you can't afford to lose in this environment and take sniper shots. But it is now let me finish this little bit of a rant by saying what? I am starting to itch a little bit. I'll go get some penicillin, but I have to hope that 2 years from now, when Ron DeSantis is elected president, I think I might have a fundraiser at our place for Ron. And I'm Secretary of the Navy, so I can get my own Navy One jet and fly around. I'm going to be like John Lehman. Everybody remembers Secretary of the Navy Lehman? He made himself an A6 BN, Bombardier Navigator. So he just grabbed an A6 whenever he wanted to and flew around and visited Navy ships and stations and stuff like that. I'm totally doing that. I'm going to have my own Hornet. I'm just going to rage around. I need my 3,000 hour patch. Here's what I'm getting at. If you do the if you think that the Joe Biden malaise will end, it has to. Even the Atlantic, it's happening, guys. They've already you got to feel bad for Joe a little bit, like, oh, I'm definitely running. It's gotten to the point where, you got to take the keys away from your parents type of thing. And somebody's going to have to do it. And it's, Valerie Jarrett, Susan Rice, or Barack, who actually told him not to run because it was Hillary's turn. This was a great op-ed yesterday in, oh, really, Coleman? That's awesome. Coleman is a great naval aviator. He's an American piece of history, man. We got to do a live event down here in Boca, so you guys got to meet Coleman. He flew with John McCain. His John McCain debrief will curl your toes, man. But yeah, John Lehman was great. Brown shoes, 600 ship Navy. He was a Secretary of the Navy for a Cold War, man. He was great. So Democrats and the media suddenly discover the president is old. Read this. It's great. Because the New York Times started it a couple weeks ago, like, well, whispers. And then the Atlantic, this declaration of the obvious has now moved along the progressive media chorus line to the Atlantic with a blunt piece. Let me put this bluntly. Joe Biden should not run for reelection. So imagine this guy like, I came in and saved you from Trump, and this is what you're going to do to me? He's getting put out to pasture. I'm rambling about this because I feel like Joe Biden. I'm rambling about this because you can fly out if you believe 2 years from now when Ron DeSantis is inaugurated. I mean, anybody. Because, again, a career call from me, New York Times, 96% probability Hillary Clinton wins, 4% Trump. And if Trump wins, the market will crash. I'm like, they're all lying. They're wrong. Donald Trump not only wins, but the market rallies. Boom! When, not if, Ron DeSantis wins the presidency, the market will see a rip-your-face-off rally like you've never seen before. But we're going to have to get bullish on that before the election because the market's going to know the same thing. Here's what I'm rambling about. Only guys like me and drunk dudes at cocktail parties time the top perfectly. We didn't time this one perfectly. It was pretty close. I was on an airliner coming back from the medicine when this was going on. I'm like, oh, boy, out. And we got it right. COVID crash to the day, COVID explosion to the day because of Jerome and Donald Trump. This one will be harder for me. Unless we get peace in Ukraine, Jerome Powell can't do anything, folks. If Jerome Powell stops raising rates or does more QE, what happens? Inflation gets – so he's going straight down in his airliner, trying to move the controls. It's over with. I can't even find a bullish Jerome Powell thing. It might be bullish for the market a little bit if he goes, you know what, we're going to stop raising interest rates. How do you stop raising interest rates when inflation's literally burning people to death? You can't. They are out of cycle, guys, and they will overshoot. That's what Ron and Sana was kind of saying. Be careful what you wish for. I'll make a career call right here. The Fed will overshoot raising rates to the upside, and it will destroy us. That's an easy one. Enough rambling. Hop in your time machine right now if you want to and buy Amazon. Synthetic stock, which is now doable, or just a long call diagonal, man. Do I think Amazon has lower to go? Yes. That's why I'm kind of waiting. But after talking to some people last week, I'm like, you know what? I gotta stop just saying what I'm doing and saying what you could do, even though I'm not giving you that individual advice. We might have lower to go. However, guess what happens? We will, if you get in here and we actually go down to 80, 85, like I'm feeling, or maybe 90, 10% lower. That's a sneeze, guys. We will pass wherever you got it on the way up. Everybody understanding what I'm saying? I'm telling you, when the hair on the back of my neck, and I'm getting my hair cut on Thursday, you gotta like these June options. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you do if you want to do a long call diagonal, right? You buy the 0.8 delta calls. What would they be? And Christina, absolutely, you can do XLY. XLY, you get some Tesla in there, you get some Amazon. The 0.8 delta calls are the 87 and a half. Buy a couple of these, or you do synthetic stock. Maybe I talk you through a synthetic stock. Warning, before I do this, let me just say this again for the slow people. Amazon, I believe, goes lower. But there are some people like, dude, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you believe we are going to go lower, but we're going to come back, because you can make money, folks, as I've been teaching you, hopefully. You can make money as something's going down. We can be bipolar, folks. We can be what? Our strategic mindset can be long-term bullish on Amazon, but short-term bearish. Amazon is at a discount here, guys. It's time. I'm not going to use this term because I make fun of people using it. Nibble. If it's a $200 stock, if it gets up to where we left in a couple years, that return would be insane. Rick, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't do this today when the stock's up 4%. I might wait. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Let me write that down. I'll do this later. Well, I would wait. I would wait until the short squeeze is over with. And as somebody pointed out earlier, I need to do this. I forgot it isn't Monday. What happens this week? Yeah, you know what? I'm not. This is another. So he is doing his semi-annual, what do they call it? Humphrey Hawkins speech. Isn't that what it's called? His testimony? Humphrey Hawkins. Isn't that some dude that like wears a mask? Or no, that's Guy Fawkes. Something like that. So on tomorrow, he speaks to who goes first? The House, right? The kids go first, and then the adults go second in the Senate. And guess what happens around him in the Senate speaking? We get a couple PMIs, which he obviously knows what those numbers are going to be. This will be really interesting, folks, to hear him testify this week. And then Friday, whoever said that is right. I can demonstrate how to do synthetic stock. I would not do it. Go watch a Full Throttle training session about how to do it. If you really want to get into Amazon now, I don't mind missing. If Jerome Powell gets in here this week, goes, I'm comfortable with where we're at. We're going to raise a little bit more, but man, everything's great. And then everybody goes, holy shit, that was awesome. Things are better. Rally time. I'd sit here and go, I'd look around and go, okay. And then I'll get on the airplane. I have no problems being a little bit late to get confirmation of a rally, right? As somebody just wrote me privately, thanks, Thomas. I appreciate that. I would not. The reason I feel like Jamie Dimon, I would not be the Fed chief because I can't take the pay cut. And since they all got busted doing insider trading, I couldn't trade. I would have loved to have been a congressman, senator, or the Fed chief. I would have insider traded the shit out of it. And I would have told all of you. I would have kept TGO and told you all, like I did with the COVID crash. My deep throat in the White House. Man, we knew what was going on. This is also a sign that this is a little bit of a relief squeeze, or because we haven't seen panic yet, guys, or capitulation. So I do think this is good to look at. I do think we need to wait a little bit on Amazon. Really good questions on financials. I would absolutely stay away from financials right now as well. Absolutely. This is the time where, I think it came up the other day, I get like a 2-week warning before financial earnings. Nope. I would not. There is too much uncertainty. When you get this dude, what's his name? Not Moynihan. Moynihan. I got it right. Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America, come out and go, yeah, we're kind of hurting right now for labor, let alone. So long answer, I'm not going to ramble. I'm 7 minutes over. I wouldn't go near financials at all right now. Jamie Dimon, what, how long ago was that? 3-4 weeks ago? Jamie Dimon came out and said what? Or was it? No, they were right around each other. Wasn't it Elon Musk and Jamie Dimon? Elon Musk gave a tsunami speech. One of them used the word tsunami. Oh, yeah. It was Jamie Dimon said there's a financial tsunami coming. And then Elon Musk used the term what? He went Han Solo. Elon Musk said what? I have a super bad feeling about this. Han Solo's really bad. I got a bad feeling about this. Elon Musk said super bad. So when Jamie Dimon, 4 weeks in front of earnings, goes, there's a tsunami coming, I don't think. I would not play financial earnings at all. So, Brent, I wouldn't, man. It's just too uncertain. I have no idea what I don't know. These financial CEOs get on and go, you know what? The worst is behind us. Rip your face off rally. Or, holy shit, things suck and they're going to continue to suck and we might see a recession. Slam. Remember, I haven't said this in a while. Financials tend to lead us in and out of bad. So if these financial earnings are bad, that's going to set the tone for earnings season. And this one could be bad. I could be completely wrong. They're looking forward and they're being bullish. Folks, I just showed you a Wall Street Journal report that said what? 60% of CEOs are like, there's a recession coming and we're trimming our sales. Now, let's go way past that. We have got to be the Warren Buffetts. We got to be the Wiz Buckleys by going what? When all of this funk is shitty, this is why I was a little itchy today with Amazon. I'm like, if Joe Biden doesn't completely destroy this country, which is a distinct possibility, you got to get bullish eventually here. I'm starting to. I got my names up on my board. It's almost like you want bad earnings at this point. You want the financials to be awful in the text. We need the washout. This half pregnant market, like we are with fighting in Ukraine, is not good for anybody. I want a decisive bottom. I just want to get it over with, man. Rip the Band-Aid off. Parker, you know where I am, man. Let me draw it up here. Let's draw the delta again. Let's go to the 5-year chart and tell you what I think is going to happen. You're seeing it. Ed, look at this. Look at these. I kept these levels up here for a reason. Look at the bounce, chop, bounce. This is a distinct possibility. The more realistic possibility is that getting down to where we departed the aircraft for COVID lows. I definitely see 3,400 on the S&P. Not in the next couple of days and Jerome Powell chop and all sorts of shit. But if I want that to happen too, folks. I don't like people getting destroyed and shit like that. But it will be, if we stop there, give me a bottom so I can go, and I will swoop in, man. I am one of the guys with cash on the sideline. I would swoop in. I'll show you with my real account when I swoop in. I'm gonna buy shit with both hands. And again, it's funny because I get institutional investors when they're on CBC like, this is great, things are on sale. Not if you pumped all your people in retail to get in the shit. Now they're getting margin calls. They can't walk in and buy things at a discount. I have told you for the past 6 to 8 months, what? Keep some powder dry. Hell, I was 80-20 for a while there. I think I'm about 90-10 right now. I just got some bullshit Mara and some SIL, and that's about it. I'm in a ton of cash right now. So use this for your lessons learned going forward, because we will see this again, and we will see this is a business cycle. This is market cycles. It isn't bullshit, folks. Keep some powder dry. Goose was doing it. A lot of people from the afterburner started going, and Mitch was awesome. Mitch in January is like, done. Mitch did a great job. I think he's still down in Brazil in his Speedo. Hopefully he's not wearing it backwards. So right around here, Mitch is, right around me on an airplane coming back from doing the medicine the second time going, dear TGO members. I'm like, boom. So I absolutely agree with that we're going. Yeah, I like Dan Niles. Yep. So, Tom, you're absolutely right. Bart is on fire. If you're not in Tomcat charts, give me 100 push-ups. If you joined Lifetime before midnight on Friday, you are in Tomcat charts now. You're welcome. Bart's doing a fantastic job with this. It very, 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 very good. He sees the stuff, man. He sees the matrix. I might take this sniper shot now. This is the fade I wanted to see. What's this trade at? Oof, not that one. I'm going to go up to, in case we get a late day. Oh, there's no premium in that. Shit. It's at 36. 6. Let me look at that. 38. No, I'm not going to do that. I think we're going to get a little bit of a fade here on SPX. I might take a sniper shot. We'll see. If you're in Lifetime or the Hunters, you're going to get it. But we might get a strong run in the afternoon up to. It's either going to strong run up to 38 or not. Let me drop a 70 in, and then that 50. 50 is a nice round number for the S&P 500. We'll see. All right, guys. Hey, sorry I went way late, but we haven't talked since Thursday. A lot to brief. Still more of a popcorn mode. Still write my names up on the board. I will swoop in with cash when I feel I'm going to do that. Otherwise, I'm just taking sniper shots. Nothing big. Absolutely nothing big. If you're super long-term, your own Vanguard funds thing, you should be picking up. You should be nibbling on the way down. I just don't do that. I'm not a super tanker doing 30 knots, trying to make a turn. I'm in a Hornet. I can pull 7.5, 9 Gs, whatever it is, in the blink of an eye and get from bullish to bearish. But for right now, not with Jerome on. He's gonna. I love watching Jerome talk to the House with all his diversity stuff. It has nothing to do with the Fed, but he's all over those answers. And then when the Republicans answer him ask him tough questions, he's like, "Well, I can't really. That's a political thing." Chairman Powell, do you believe that thank God for Joe Manchin. Did you see, who's the murderer from Pensacola? Oh, Joe Scarborough. See what happened to his intern. Now, Democrats are doing what? Some Democrats. Thank God for Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. Oh, really? They were the biggest threat to democracy. Could you imagine another $2 billion if we had spent that? It would have destroyed that would have been it. So actually, I love when MSNBC is actually saying thank you to Joe Manchin for saving our country. Was it trillion? Oh, Jesus. I didn't even. A billion here, a billion there, talking about real money. All right, guys, I'm going to sit on my hands. A little bit more tomorrow, though. I'll share a little bit more of my bullish names with you because we're getting there, unless we're not. Peace in Ukraine. Please, God, just stop killing, man. Literally, let's just stop killing for a couple days, go into a room and whiteboard some shit out and see if we can stop killing people. I know that won't agree with the people at Boeing and Lockheed Martin and all these other places that war is good business, man. It is great business, isn't it? The only general in the past 150 years in our country who's won a war was Eisenhower. Wasn't Milley, wasn't Petraeus, wasn't McChrystal, it wasn't MacArthur in Korea, was it? He got fired. It certainly wasn't Westmoreland in Vietnam. The only general in U.S. history that I'm aware of, besides Grant, who won a war, warned us. I just won a war for this country. I'm a fucking 5-star general. The defense industry, you got to keep an eye on him, man. He saw it coming. And we didn't listen. Schwarzkopf, thank you, Cheatin. That was dumb to miss that one. Let me look at my thread to see if I got any intel that's moving stuff around. Shorts, duh. All right, Shorts, yeah. Okay. He was ahead of his time. All right, guys, I'm good. Sorry I went long. Hadn't talked in a while. Had to get some good rants out there, but be careful, guys. I didn't even talk about crypto or Bitcoin or anything like that. Battle of 20,000. You can do whatever you want. Knock yourself out, man. Bitcoin and Ether, don't they use that to knock people out? Maybe if you use Ether, you'll buy that coin. Ethereum, whatever it's called. Elysium, isn't that a space station? Bitcoin, and there might be a few. It might be like the internet. There might be a few cryptos to survive, but it ain't the old days, man. It ain't a conference in Miami where everybody parties for 3 days and doesn't even go to the thing. But you do what you want to do with crypto, man. It's a risk asset. If you want to throw drinking money at it, throw drinking money at it, man. I told you on day one of crypto, I'm like, an amount of money that you don't mind putting on your coffee table and lighting on fire while dripping a little champagne is the amount of money to invest in that. So, but good luck to all my crypto brothers and sisters. And I mean that actually. I love when people make money, but I don't like when people lose money. But I especially don't like when people lose money when they were warned about losing money. So, all right, guys, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless. Fights on and namaste.